Good evening, One players all over the world. Welcome into the One Play Esports Spectrum, the premier location for the very best in FIFA Pro Club as we reach the business end of both our competitions. The One Play Pro Club Challenge is spicing up at the quarter-final stage, and here at the One Play Sports C Nations Cup, we're coming to the end of the group stages. The semi-finals await, but can Indonesia book their spot in those semi-finals tonight? We'll find out very shortly in the company of you watching all over the world and the man to my right, the Doctor of Style, the Prince of Pro Club. He puts the player into PlayStation, the into PS4. He is the notorious Nitin Nambiar.
These intros are somehow managing to get better every week, Patrick.
I know, your performance is getting worse. Sort it out.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm hoping to bring my A game today, though.
You always bring
Fingers
your A game.
crossed.
You're bringing your A game to Group B. You see what I've done there?
Not bad.
Not just a pretty face, or not even a pretty face, I should say. Welcome, friends. Listen, don't forget to be part of the show. You can LSFC, like, share, follow, comment if you're new to the One Play Sports C Nations Cup. Where have you been? This has been going on now for nearly a month. It's the top echelons of pro club action, but the good news is you join us just in time for the final, which approaches very quickly a week on Sunday. It's 8 nations battling it out for $2,500 in the prize pool, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays, although I should say this Friday is our final Friday. We'll be bringing you a preview show next Friday ahead of our big finals night on Sunday the 14th. What is it all, Nitin?
It's all live and exclusive on the best place to catch pro clubs action in Southeast Asia, the One Play Sports Facebook and YouTube page, and the One Play Sports esports page. So if you haven't checked that page out, please do like and follow us there as well. Indonesia
and the Philippines battling it out tonight at the Gelora and the Panad. Let's remind you what's happening in the two respective groups for the One Play Sports C Nations Cup. First off, Group A concluded on Sunday with Malaysia and Thailand getting through. Malaysia topping the group. They'll play the runners-up eventually in Group B. Thailand will take on the top spot side from the group we're concentrating on tonight and Friday. There you see Malaysia will be in that semi-final on the left, the first one, and on the right you'll get the team in B1 playing Thailand in our second semi-final. And worth noting as well, the losers in the semis qualify for a cash game in the third place playoff that we'll be bringing to you on 10 p.m. time-wise, Singapore time, GMT +8 on Sunday the 14th. We're going to give you a double header for our grand finals weekend. The One Play Pro Club Challenge finals on the Saturday, the One Play Sports C Nation Cups finals on the Sunday. Now let's check in with this Group B. That's the group we have the two games, or two match nights I should say, remaining on. Indonesia expected to beat the Philippines, for whom it's been a struggle so far. If they pick up maximum points tonight, they'll go top. Singapore, though, with a chance to take back top spot in the final matches of Group B on Friday when they take on Myanmar. But for all the talk of Group A being the group of death, Nitin, Group B is just getting a little bit spicy. You only got to throw one surprise result in the ointment tonight, and we could be talking about a potential shock again.
Yep, agreed. Group A was way tighter, though. Group B has, in towards the final round of fixtures, it's nice to see that 3 teams still have the chance to qualify. Philippines are out, unfortunately. Nothing on for them today except for national pride. But with regards to Indonesia, 6 points today gets them to top of the group, and you never know what happens between Singapore and Myanmar. That's coming up in 2 days.
And of course, one of the great things about this tournament has been some of the players that we've had playing, not just the very best gamers from all over Southeast Asia, but some real-life international footballers as well, one of which, by the way, is leading the Golden Boot race in Shamir Azik. He's been absolutely sensational, and tonight for the Philippines, OJ Porteria lining up. And if Justin, his mum's watching over there in Washington, D.C., Justin, let's hear from you on the Facebook comment section. Actually, now's a good time to ask everyone to what, Nitin?
To like, share, follow and comment, guys. I think you know the drill by now. We're bringing you the best pro clubs action in Southeast Asia. We're creating communities, created a wonderful little pro clubs community here, and we're creating heroes. And hopefully we'll see a hero for Indonesia or Philippines emerge tonight.
Yeah, we're going to concentrate on Indonesia and the Philippines in just a moment. Let's throw forward, though, 24 hours to what's coming up in our third quarter-final in the One Play Pro Club Challenge. Already we know the identity of our first 2 semi-finalists. Larojak and Tiki Taka will battle it out in one all-Singapore semi-final. It will not be a Singapore festo in the second semi, because Amigos against Thaigang will battle it out on Thursday before the final quarter-final on Saturday sees the VM brothers up against Buffalo Run. Buffalo Run, who like tiki-taka, are the only teams not to concede a goal in this tournament so far. How good is that tiki-taka defence?
tiki-taka are super, but building on to Buffalo Run again, we love our non-seeded sides in the tournament, and Buffalo Run are the only non-seeded side left in the tournament, and it's fantastic to see them reach this far. But I would absolutely love it if they made the semis.
Yeah, they were a genuinely unseeded team as well.
Exactly.
Talking about Nitin asking you to LSFC, don't forget we're fully interactive here. Unfortunately, you've run out of time if you're a fan of Vietnam and or Brunei, and possibly will have after tonight as well, run out of time if you're a fan of the Philippines. But all the other nations still in contention. Your country still needs you. It doesn't matter if you're not a gamer. You can be part of the pre-show here live on One Play Sports. Play your national anthem in the background on YouTube and film yourself singing it on landscape mode, and email studio@oneplaysports.com or WhatsApp it to +65 972 17756. And my glamorous assistant Nitin is demonstrating what filming in landscape mode means.
It's like this, guys.
Okay, and just to differentiate, what's portrait?
Portrait is this, landscape is this.
You've got to have a system. Stalactites and stalagmites. You've got to have a system, right?
What's that?
Stalagmites and stalactites. You know the things that come down from caves?
Yeah?
Yeah, stalactites and stalagmites.
Okay, but what's that got to do with?
Well, it's like the same
portrait?
thing, isn't it? Just explaining how up there
okay,
is.
I see what you're doing there, but I think, like me, the audience is confused.
Stalactites and stalagmites. You've got to have a system.
Landscape and portrait. So do landscape, guys.
What's that all about? How big's your phone?
Like this.
Right, back down to business we go. So much to get through. Keep LSFCing, liking, sharing, following and commenting. Let's check in with the Golden Boot race. I think it's safe to say, bearing in mind Indonesia have been struggling for goals in their matches so far. It's going to take something, but you never know, with games against the Philippines on the agenda, to challenge our top scorers. Shamir Azik's been peerless, scored in both the match nights for Singapore in the first two rounds. And woo-wow, wee-wow, wee-wang-ping! If Thailand can get to the final, who'd bet against him? Singapore looking sharp with two contenders in the top three. And let's not forget Malaysia's Afifi still in there. But Shamir at the moment in the running for that $125 cash prize.
Yeah, Shamir also, just to mention, Shamir has played a game less than all those other players. So he's done it in quicker time. So that's even more impressive to see him at the top of the goal-scoring shots.
It certainly is, because they had that controversial team change, didn't they, in the second match against Indonesia, which incidentally finished 0-0. Indonesia's defence hasn't been a problem. They come through tight encounters against Myanmar and then lost, obviously, in one game against Singapore before picking up a point back at the Gelora in the second match. Their problem has been in front of goal, and it'll be interesting to see, Nitin, whether they can get that right tonight. So let's get straight down to tonight's main event. It is Indonesia against the Philippines ×2. 6 points up for grabs. Can Philippines, who have scored a couple of goals, it should be said, pull off a shock? Even if they get a draw in either of these games tonight, it will be a massive shock. We start at the Gelora in a couple of moments, then we'll switch around about 11:30 Singapore time to the Panad for the return matchup. A draw would be a huge shock, right?
A draw would be a huge shock. I do fancy Indonesia to get all 6 points, but having said that, every time we've seen the Philippines play, they've improved, I won't say tremendously, but they've improved part by part. And if they manage to get some significant improvement today, you never know, they could even get a win.
Let's go through the team news then with the notorious Nitin Nambiar. Nitin, a couple of players to keep an eye out for. I know obviously Frenzy and Jeffrey have been the two main striking threats for Indonesia, and what's been a disappointing tournament for them so far in goal. But shout out to their player manager. Not too many player managers in Pro Club playing goal, but Zihars is one of them.
Yep, Zihars in goal for them. They're playing a 3-5-2 today, a switch up from the 4-5-1 they played against Singapore. I think they're looking for lots of goals today. That's why they've gone with 3 at the back. Players that I like from Indonesia, I think Zihar is a good player. Jacobson, a centre-back's decent. Toilet in midfield does his part. Fabian, Frenzy, AQL and Jeffrin are my attacking threats for them who have impressed so far. Of course, Fabian, Frenzy and Jeffrin have got on the score sheet in this tournament so far.
Oh, look at that for the Philippines. Yeah. It's in bot central at the back. That's a worry.
Yep, it is a worry. They're playing a 4-4-2 today. Goalkeeper's a bot. Centre-back's a bot. Left-back's a bot. But, having said that, Philippines have conceded lots of goals. And, I think that the bots might actually make a difference in terms of helping them concede less. So we'll see how that pans out. With regards to their attacking talents, JZA at striker has scored a goal so far in this tournament. Mr. OJ Poterio is playing as striker as well. He had a good chance against, who did he play in the last match?
The Philippines?
Yeah.
They played Myanmar in the last match.
Yeah, in the last match against Myanmar, he had a really good chance to score. Unfortunately, we couldn't see our professional player score. Hopefully, he gets a goal today. And again, lots of national pride on the line for Philippines today. Hopefully, these players step up and give the country something to shout about.
Well, we'll find out in just a couple of moments' time what's going to happen. I have to tell you in advance now, and I'm sure if you've been on social media and you're a dedicated gamer, you will know there's been all kinds of problems with the EA servers. And I'd like to say from the heart, as an honorary member now, the gaming community myself,
Yes.
it destroys my soul to see the treatment that EA Sports are dishing out to these gamers via the server. EA Sports, sort it out. It's not good enough. We're trying to run a professional operation here. What kind of nonsense is this? I'm sorry, and I'm very angry. I'm very angry.
I've been angry. I've broken controllers because of the servers before. It's been a problem that's been happening for years. So EA, if somehow you're watching this, please listen to me and Patrick. Get your servers fixed. Keep your customers happy. You make billions from us.
Thanks, bro. You can't...
Fix the servers, man.
It's very... Makes me want to punch the logo.
Hey, relax.
I want to punch the logo. That's how angry I am.
Relax, bro.
Right. Decorum is what's needed in this situation because we're about to get down to business. Let's hope EA Sports listen to us and let's hope the servers do behave themselves tonight. Luckily, having failed to connect earlier, both teams are standing by with what we hope are stable connections. And it's now left to me to ask everyone watching One Play Sports all over the world, north, south, east and west, please be upstanding as we cross live to the respective capital cities for the national anthems. And first, the Indonesia Raya, sung live from Jakarta by Erwin.
Indonesia, tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sana aku berdiri, dari panggung ibuku. Indonesia, kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah airku. Marilah kita bersatu, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah aku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwamu, bangunlah badanmu untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
Lovely stuff.
Fantastic, Erwin. Nice job, bro.
His mum might be very happy. Though. Looks like he was standing on the bed there.
Yeah, it looked like it,
But
right?
nevertheless, a great rendition. Erwin, you might see him in action tonight as well, a member of the Indonesian squad under the handle of Kaya Moses. Best of luck to him and the rest of his squad, and thanks for that great rendition of the Indonesia Raya. Now, let's head straight to Manila. We've got a female singing the Lupang Hinarang. Please remain upstanding as we cross live to Rebecca.
Magili, pulat ng silanganan, alag ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupa hinirang, buwin ka ng magising, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit ng bukas. May dilag ang tula at hawit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw ng kailan pa may di magdidilim, lupa ng araw ng luwalhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was absolutely marvellous. The passion of these anthems has been fantastic. And why don't you have a go? Email studio@oneplaysports.com your anthem singing in landscape mode.
Yes, please.
Demonstrated by my assistant Nitin there. Predictions from you, please.
Predictions from me. First game, Indonesia 3-0. Second game, Indonesia 2-1.
That does demonstrate that the Philippines have made progress, and that, on the face of it, they've recovered well after that blitz in the first half against Singapore all the way on their first match night. So without any further ado, One players and gamers all over the world, let's cross live to the Gelora Stadium in Jakarta as Indonesia look to get the 6 points they need to give themselves a shot of qualifying as top dogs in Group B. We await our pictures coming in live from Gelora. Tournament Director Youssef from our dear friends at VPG. What's happening? One IC in the Gelora Stadium. Still connecting. That doesn't bode well. We were worried about this, but don't worry. We've got contingency plans. We're nothing if not prepared. Were you in the Boy Scouts when you were growing up, Nitin?
I was actually.
What's the motto?
Man, I can't remember.
You weren't a very good Cub Scout. Dib dab dob, be prepared. We will do our best. You know, that's a scout sign.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't remember the dip dab dob.
Yeah, it's dib dab dob. We will do our best. The Al-Qaeda says to you, what would you do? And you say?
I will do my best.
No, it's
Dib dab dob.
See, that's the problem. There's no I in team. You say, we will do our best. We're a team here, buddy.
We will do our best.
Yes, what about the EA servers? It's about time they
EA
started
servers are
doing their
doing their
best.
worst.
Yeah, we're not happy. Yay, there we go.
Hey,
Indonesia
oh, hey,
in the
oh,
red,
hey.
Philippines in the white. We should be momentarily crossing live by the magic performed, I should say, by our technical director, Samuel. He really is an absolute superstar, along with our tournament director, Yusuf, and our other star of the show, Victor, who helped bring this coverage to you each and every match night. The final warm-up screen is there for you all to see. That was an Indonesian player scoring 1 goal. Will they get more where that came from? Look at the skills that pay the bills from
Fantastic.
Jackerson here. Oh, my word, keeper no chance. And that's just in warm-up. What will they do when the game starts? We're about to find out under the lights of the Gelora. It's Indonesia against Philippines in the penultimate match for both in Group B. Indonesia in the red, playing from left to right. The Philippines in the white, right to left.
They're going to quit.
Oh, no. Just what we didn't want to see. And this, unfortunately, has been an issue. I have been told by tournament director Yusuf that the Philippines have agreed to just carry on if they had connection issues. But Yusuf, I'm assuming, will confirm that it was Indonesia that bailed on that game. Who was it? It was Indonesia. Now, of course, because the Philippines are already out, they're very sporting. He said they won't persevere with reconnections. But you can understand why Indonesia want to get the best results possible here, because the stakes for them are still high. Not finishing top, even if they do qualify, could be the difference between an easier and a harder semi-final. Because let's face it, I think most people would rather play Thailand in the semi-final, or is that disrespecting?
I think most people, in my opinion, most people would rather play Malaysia. Again, it's not an enviable choice between Thailand and Malaysia. Both of them have their strengths, but in my opinion, I would be slightly more afraid to play Thailand because I feel that home game for Thailand, there could be lag issues for the other countries.
Yes.
So.
And the connections, unfortunately, may well be a problem here. And
Yep.
again, if you're Indonesia, you don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to have to play with bots when you know you've got the talent to maybe score quite a lot of goals. Remember Singapore, what was it, 8-0 and 4-1 or 8-1 and 8-0 and 3-1, I
8-0
think it
and
was.
3-1, yeah.
So they scored 11 goals against the Philippines. And from an Indonesian pride point of view, they'll want to post a big score at home against the Philippines.
Yeah, they would, not just for in terms of the goal difference on the table,
Yeah.
but also in terms of confidence, going into the semi-finals, high on confidence after trashing a neighboring country. I don't think it gets better than that. So I think that's what the Indonesians are looking for, but EA servers are not helping.
I mean, their goal scoring has been a problem, hasn't it? They couldn't score against Singapore. They picked up 3 goals, 1 scored by a bot in the 2 wins against Myanmar. So you're quite right. They need to try and prove that they've got enough quality up front to trouble the likes of particularly Singapore, who look strong defensively, and Malaysia.
Yep, at the moment, I think Malaysia and Thailand will be looking at the Indonesian team and thinking, these guys are good, but we are on another level and we will be able to rip apart their defense as Singapore did in that first game. But Indonesia have got a lot to prove today. They've got to show that they've got good attackers, good attacking intent, and really good build-up play. So today is a very important day for Indonesians pro club football scene.
While I got this spare moment, let me check in with the Facebook comment section. Very quiet today. What's wrong with you people? LSFC. Victor, put it up there. Show them. Like, share, follow, comment. I want you to plant your nation's flag wherever you're watching. I can't see Jocelyn watching at the moment. Jocelyn, if you're there, let us know. Our good old pal from Wales, Josh Lewis, is there. He says, back again. Let's hope for a good game, guys. Shout out to Josh.
What's up, Josh? How are you doing, buddy?
Scott Harding is with us as well. Mohammed Tariq, shout outs to all of you. And keep the comments coming. Seems to be very quiet. It can't be Facebook connection issues as well with their server. Surely not them as well.
They're having a bit of issues as well, from what I hear.
Well, let's
But
hope not.
I don't think it's causing problems to the live.
Now, I must say at this point, because it's still a chance that we might have to go down this road, we were in discussions with Tournament Director Youssef, whose team at VPG Virtual Pro Gaming have done a beautiful job at making sure this tournament runs like clockwork. There's nothing we or they can do when disconnection problems happen. As I said, it's blamed on the EA servers. We're about to go live. There was some suggestion we might reschedule this match night as a doubleheader on a Friday to back up against Singapore and Myanmar, but luckily it does look like now we're going to be able to get some action in, which is good news. And I wonder, if you're in Indonesia, would there be any temptation to let the bots take over and see how many the bots could score against the Philippines, or is that a gamble they're not prepared to take?
Nah, I don't think it's a gamble they're prepared to take at this point, especially with qualification into the semis on the line.
Okay, final seconds ticking down. Technical Director Sam, can we cross full frame, please? And Nitin and myself will take our seats in the commentary box. Oh, no. What's happened here? Are we
No,
going
it's fine,
pit
it's fine.
side?
Don't worry, it's
Here
fine.
we go. Let's go full screen as we take our seats in the commentary box. Indonesia, take 2 in the red, left to right. It's the Philippines, right to left. And let's have a look at how many arrows we've got of our players. I can see one bot playing for Indonesia. The Philippines, we know, have declared 3 bots at the back, and you can see them in their back line. What's the lag look like early, Nitin?
Looks okay so far. Looks playable, definitely. Oh, they got Neymar.
Down the left-hand side. I'm not sure whether that's Neymar or Latch Clank. I think it might be Latch Clank who is on the ball there for the Philippines. What's your handle, by the way? I've asked you this before on Pro Club.
Nitin Nam, NitinNamd.
And that's also the handle for Nitin on his ever-expanding social media portfolio. Facebook pages, you love a bit of Instagram as well, Nitin?
Yeah, if you guys would like to follow and play some games sometimes, just hit me up.
Well, interestingly here, I got messages coming through from Tournament Director Youssef, who says the Philippines have only got 6 players. It looked at first glance, they had more than 6. Indonesia with 1 disconnection. Youssef, if you could tell me the player that was disconnected, that would be really helpful. Our Tournament Director will get on that as Jeffrey, one of the only goal scorers in the tournament, only one of 2, along with Frenzy on the claw. Nice work. And the bot, the 2 bots, I should say, play it out from the back nicely for the Philippines. So Indonesia not running riot early as Singapore did when they had home advantage against the Filipinos, Nitin.
Yeah, but again, I think that has a lot to do with the bots that are on play. The bots are very rigid in their style. They rather defense first than moving forward. So I think that could actually help the Filipinos today.
Just confirming that the Filipinos had 2 extra disconnections, so they've only got 6 players as Jefferin's first shot on goal is blocked. Jefferin again plays it through nicely, and all over the shot, the Filipino defence, they can't get it clear, and it's somehow deflected over, and it goes to a corner.
Yeah, Jeffrin actually had his strike partner way open just now. He had 2 opportunities to pass it to him. Was a bit selfish there.
So nearly 13 minutes in, we await the breakthrough for Indonesia, who remember can go top with 2 wins tonight, even though Singapore will have 2 games in hand. Just going through the additions. I think Neymar Jr. might be JZA. We'll check that for you in a minute. Fabian Frenzy with the bot who's playing in the middle there. This is the bot for Indonesia, the 1 disconnection they had. Nice ball from the bot to Jeffrey!
Oh, what a goal!
An absolute screamer! Jeffrin gets his second of the tournament, and it whistled past the botting goal for the Philippines, and even the keeper, Zihars, the player manager's up to celebrate. That was an absolute rocket, Nitin. 16 in, Indonesia 1, Philippines 0.
Yep, fantastic celebrations. The goalkeeper also coming up to join the attack to celebrate. I think it just shows how much that goal means to the Indonesian pro club scene. Fantastic effort from Jeffrin from outside the box. A nice little finesse shot in off the post. Great start. I knocked him earlier for being selfish, and if he continues to be selfish and take shots like that, no problem.
So Jeffrin, whose second goal of the tournament, has given Indonesia a calming lead here. The Philippines, remember, managing to net and losing efforts to Singapore and Myanmar, but never scored more than 1 in a game so far. Might have a chance here, though. Oh, the square ball from the bot wasn't good enough, and Indonesia will clear. As Nitin mentioned, the goal difference is something that the Indonesians would like to work on, if nothing else, but for pride and confidence as they move through. Their goal difference currently +1, in contrast to Singapore's +12. Of course, Singapore, you'd expect to finish with more positive goal differential than they take on Myanmar on Friday, though there's one thing for sure, Myanmar, marshalled by their brilliant manager, Dr. Arkar Tatsan, who will be speaking to you live on the preview show on Friday at 10 p.m, have given all the teams they've played plenty to think about. They managed to beat the Philippines twice, and Indonesia had to huff and puff to get past them. Here's the Mama Ting. Nice ball over to the left-hand side, and the bot tries to clear. That was a foul on the bot, surely. Got away with one there, did Mama Ting. Here's Jeffrin again from the edge of the area. Pulled the trigger once, not this time. Jeffrin gets it back and almost got it through. Scrambling defence, if ever I saw it, hitting at the back for the Philippines.
Yeah, but they managed to get the job done there. Jeffrin has been very influential for the Indonesians so far, getting involved in everything. So fantastic to see them, birthing properly a new attacking hero today.
We're still awaiting confirmation from tournament director Youssef of who the Indonesian player that disconnected was. I'm wondering whether it was Farshar or Toilet. I think it might be one of those two. Nitin.
I think Toilet is on and Farsha is on.
So let's see, I'm look like one of the midfield players. Shout out to Kevin Chown. He says, Nitin, how good are you at FIFA?
I'm decent, bro. I get an average of about 20 wins on FUT. I'm nothing special, but if you ever want to have a friendly, add me up.
Here's Zozo for the Philippines. Shout out to Miguel Ferez, who's with us on the Facebook comment section as well. Here's Cess. Nice layer from Cess. Here's the Reggie. To Porteria, this Filipino international dispossessed there. As the Philippines unable still to put any kind of pressure on Zihar's goals. Ultra Pro Esports planting the Singapore flag. As we look at the last 10-minute possession, and the Philippines enjoying the better of it, Nitin. That's something I thought I wouldn't see, as Bobby, with an ambitious clearance, gets the job done for Indonesia.
Yeah, but I think the bots are helping Philippines in terms of their defensive shape.
That's not helping them, though. That's a great ball. Here's Mama Ting. Mama Ting, narrow angle. Cuts it back to Frenzy. Frenzy squares it to Farshar. And his shot is blocked, and Galactico can bring it away.
Yeah, the Indonesians are attacking and bombing lots of men forward, so the Filipinos do have a chance on the counter-attack here. I hope they manage to get it right and create a couple of chances.
Confirmation, the disconnection from Indonesia was a midfielder. It was a central midfielder, AQL, who's gonzo. So AQL, he'll be having his connection issues resolved for the return game in the Philippines at the Panad, which will probably start a little later than advertised due to our initial disconnection, but we'll bring you every minute of it live right here on One Play Sports. Oh, Mama, great ball by Mama to the claw, and that's good covering defending by the bots. They are finding the pass as well in the final third of Indonesia early. The bots scrambling defence for the Philippines, just about holding out and stopping this from being a rout, but I don't think they can hold out much longer. Can the Indonesians get a second before half-time? Jeffrin finds the Mama. Look at that sliding challenge, and it's a cast iron penno. They can have no complaints. The bot goes into the book, and is it Jacobson who steps up? No, Mama Ting, and he missed it. Mama Ting with an absolute horror show of a penno, and it stays 1-0, Nitin. He'd like that one back.
Yeah, no excuse missing on the penalty spot, especially when you have a bot in goal. He'd be very disappointed with that effort.
Oh, nice ball through. They're really running right now. Can they get a second? Somehow goes wide. As we go deep into injury time at the end of the first half, Indonesia just managing to get the one. Can they double the lead just before the break? The corner comes in, heads are up, and over the bar, and that will be half-time. And Nitin on balance. The only thing that will disappoint Indonesia is that the score's only 1-0.
Yeah, created lots of chances with the Indonesians. The Filipinos, however, are looking pretty solid at the back. We've seen them in previous ties concede probably at this point, probably 10 chances to the opposition. That hasn't been the case today. Looking a bit better at the back, but looking a bit toothless up front as well. So plenty to improve on for Philippines in the second half.
Jefferin's goal was a thing of beauty. If you're just joining us, stay with us to the highlights at the end of the game for that. We've had some questions, haven't we, over the weeks of this pro club run about the possession stats, and there's another one. How on earth did the Philippines manage more possession? Maybe that's because the defenders had so much of the ball.
Yeah, perhaps. But other than that, Indonesia have totally dominated that half, in my opinion. They'd be disappointed with their finishing in certain areas, but
yeah, that shot accuracy percentage of 57%. If they can improve that into the high 80s or 90s, this could be a 5 or 6-0 job so far. 2 yellow cards as well for the Philippines to keep an eye out. Neymar and the bot at left back, both into the referee's book. Cast iron penalty, by the way. There can have no complaints about that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a bot playing in defense. Sometimes he just mistime the tackles, and but Mama will be very disappointed he couldn't convert that and make it 2-0 at this point.
Philippines in the white left to right, Indonesia in the red right to left. As The man on the yellow card, Neymar Jr., with a nice bit of skill, does really well there, but unfortunately going in the wrong direction from a Filipino point of view. Have you ever forgotten where you are on a pitch in FIFA and started playing up the wrong end of the field?
Yes.
After a few strong beverages, maybe?
Yeah, I've
Oh, Porteria! Out of nowhere, and Ziaz has to make a save. Well, we'll get back to Nitin playing FIFA Tiddly in just a couple of moments, because Indonesia have a corner to defend after great work from OJ Porteria, the Singaporean international. But the chance has gone for now as Neymar has to battle. Got options to his right if he can find them. Nice work from Mamating. And C. Green gets them away, and the Filipinos have got numbers forward here. They could be caught cold at the back. What a great tackle from the bottom of the card. Sorry, go back to that. Have you ever become disorientated on a pro club field?
Not on a pro club field. During the FUT, when you join the weekend league, you have to play 30 games. Hold on.
Oh, there's nice work from Jackets, and that's cool defending. Go on, continue.
Yeah, you have to play 30 games, so sometimes you're a bit strapped for time, and you want to go out and have a drink with your friends on Friday. So I have played a few games, tipsy on Friday, and let's just say they haven't ended well.
Toiled, Jacobson. Looks like the Indonesians are all stone cold sober here. They're playing a nice one.
Come on, OJ, no!
Porteria. He needed support up there. I think he thought he had a runner ahead of him, didn't he? It was a little tip forward. He probably could have gone on his own.
No, I think he got a bit too excited and pressed the button by accident.
But this is much better from the Philippines in the second half. And there's going to be no double-digit scoreline here as Neymar comes through. Jacobson's been solid, though, hasn't he? The centre fulcrum of that three-man back line for Indonesia tonight, and they come again. Oh, look at that challenging back play. They've got to go back and book the player there, surely. Oh, Mamating, is it another penalty? No, goal kick. It was a yellow card for the Filipino Zozo. That was quite rightly a yellow as well, the referee, our virtual referee today.
Yeah, Jacobson, as you mentioned earlier, he is the star of that central defence for Indonesia. Fantastic defender. Very strong.
Reggie to the right back box for the Filipinos, who've enjoyed some high spots in the second half. They still haven't scored though, and if they concede a second, you can stick a fork in this one. It's done. Mamating. Indonesia, they just need a second goal here, don't they, Nitin, to put the game beyond reasonable doubt as Jeffrey gets the shot in. Nice work from Farshad. Oh, look at those skills from Farshad. Look at the little chip pass headed away by Almang.
Yeah, they are getting into very good positions, the Indonesians, but I do feel the final ball is lacking.
Is this complacency maybe, Nathan, to a certain extent, thinking the game's over at half-time?
No, I don't think so. I think they know they need a goal difference. They're actually trying to score. It's just not quite working for them.
Oh, Jeffrey, space on the right for Frenzy. Frenzy into the middle, and
nice.
The claw! What a volley! The claw with a second of the game for the Indonesians. And they're getting the 3 points now. It might not be the route they expected, but the claw makes it 2.
Yeah, fantastic finish from the claw. Great work by Fabian Frenzy on the right. Beautiful little cross. And the claw took it first time on the half volley. Fantastic finish. No chance for the keeper.
So the claw after 67 minutes. They've got a goal in each half. Indonesia aren't capable of scoring 2, surely. Here's Neymar Jr. Nice ball from Neymar Jr. looking for Porteria. Porteria into the area. And what's happened here? It's a foul. Is it on the edge of the area? Or is it it went back play. I thought for a minute it was a penalty. Free kick here, surely too far out to pull the trigger. Will they try and play it short? Just over 20 to go. If they get one back in, it could still be a grandstand finish.
Yep, Philippines. Come on, guys. We're rooting for you. Cause an upset.
You love an underdog, don't you, Nick?
I do.
You're the man of the people. Porteria!
I'm a Spurs fan. It's in my blood.
With Porteria, he's had one chance on open play, and that free kick, just not enough power to deceive Ziaz in goal, who is probably going to be busier in the semi-finals than he is here. And of course, the semi-finals is where he's going to be as long as they continue to pick up points here. Jeffrey is offside.
Good idea by the claw, though. Nice timing in terms of release of the pass, but Jeffrey just couldn't hold his run.
Here's Neymar Jr. out wide to the left-hand side to the box. Elwan. It's a nice ball down the left-hand side. He finds Porteria. Oh, Porteria's been brought down there. That'll be another free kick. Could be a yellow card surely for one of these Indonesians soon. The Manaus are starting to mount up. There's 4 white shirts in the area, one lurking on the edge. Can they potentially... I love the way the white spray paint for the 10-metre thing stays up there from the previous free kick. I think that's a nice touch of that fade. Porteria. Frenzy does well, but ends up passing it straight to Cess. Well, they're not much as impressive in the second half as they have for the first, the Indonesians, have they, Nitin?
Yep, again, Indonesia showing that they're quite blunt in attack. We've seen Singapore and the likes of Malaysia and Thailand just rip apart opponents, and we still haven't quite seen that from the Indonesians.
Onside here. Is this going to be number 3? Jeffrey, lovely turn. Squares it to the Mama!
Nice. Good play.
Mama! I kissed the man. Scored the 3rd for Indonesia, and the Philippines are done. It's the Indonesians 3, Philippines 0, and Mama Ting with 11 to play.
Yeah, great play by Jeffrey. Found Mama Ting in the box. Mama Ting, wonderful first touch, dragged it past the defender and calmly slotted it past the keeper. Makes up for missing that penalty early in the first half. So well played, Mama Ting. And 3-0 to Indonesia.
Bang, bang, says Hassan Bin Ali on the Facebook page. Are they going to make it 4? Well, it's not been pretty at times in this second half, but on the score sheet, they've been more effective in the second than they have the first. And Mama Ting's in the area again. They're all over him. Could be a penalty. Scrambling defence, the claw looks for an option, and the bot does well, clambering back, but the Indonesians are hunting for a 4th. Oh, that's a terrible foul. There'll be another card in back play after this passenger place finish. Jeffrey! Oh, just wide of the bot's right-hand post, and that did go back for a yellow card against Cess.
I just want to say one thing. Do you know that you got the lyrics wrong from Bohemian Rhapsody?
I know, mate. I'm using a bit of artistic license.
Kiss the man.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that, mate. There's
nothing wrong, of course, nothing wrong with that.
Corner to Indonesia. Indonesia going for the outswinger here. There's a nervous unease fills the studio here at the One Play Esports Spectrum.
No, it's not, man. We're like a married couple, so we're used to stuff like this. It's nice.
Here's Freddy. Plays it down the right-hand side to Mama Ting. You ain't got a thing unless you're watching Mama Ting tonight on the One Play Sports Network. The Philippines need to improve, says Choji. Ayman Roshizem, our main man from Kuala Lumpur, is watching. Shout out to you, Ayman. Shout out to you, Choji. Great to have you with us again. Jeffrey for 4. Great save by Kim, the bot keeper.
Yeah, Jeffrey's been the standout player for Indonesia today, involved in everything, and he's been fantastic. But unfortunately, the other players quite haven't been up to his level, in my opinion.
Will this be as easy for the Indonesians when they go to the Panad in just a couple of moments' time for the second game? As it stands, Indonesia will now go joint top, but second on goal difference with Singapore. They'll both be on 10 points. The goal difference goes to +4, but they need now to pick up maximum points away from home. And one feature of the Philippines' 2 previous match nights in this competition so far, Nitin, has been they have improved for the second game on a night.
Yep, they have. They usually, I think the improvement comes from, having a feel of their opponents, how they play, and they're able to adjust quickly, which is credit to them. But they just quite haven't done enough throughout the tournament, and they'll be disappointed with their performance here.
Yes, had some bright spots, let's be fair about it. Early in the second half, they threatened. Porteri had a great chance, forced a decent save out of Zihars. There's enough in them, I think, to suggest they could score in the second game, but whether they can score more than the opposition, that's been their problem all the way through the tournament.
Yeah, I think they should focus on defense first, try not to concede. And then, when teams get frustrated, sometimes they bomb too many players forward, and that's when you get the space for the counter-attack. So defense first before attack, in my opinion.
Okay, well, that's the thing, isn't it? In the Philippines, they love their basketball. It should be defense. Defense. Talk us through these goals, including a stunning opener from Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey. Nice control outside the box. Finesse shot into the off the post. Fantastic stuff. A great finish. I was harsh on him. I said he should have passed to his teammate earlier, and he told me to shut up and score.
There's the penalty. Carl Steyer from the bot got a card for his troubles, but Mama Ting...
Oh, they didn't show the missed penalty, did they?
I think Mama Ting must be in control of the highlights. This is the effort from Porteria early in the second half. Wonderful save from Zihars with an outstretched right hand. And that's hard to do because that's the only thing really he's had to do in the whole game.
Yeah, it's hard for a goalkeeper. You've got to keep concentration throughout the 90 minutes regardless of how well your team are doing. And he did that exactly.
This is the claw here, isn't it?
The claw with the finish.
The bot keeper, but it's near to him.
Keeper should have done better. Come on, bot.
The pace, the velocity on the ball.
Yeah.
And then, last but by no means least, Mama Ting.
Mama, he just scored a goal. What a touch. I love that touch. That first touch took the defenders out of the question.
Lovely pullback.
Good little composure. Placed it past the keeper. 3-0 to Indonesia. And I'm a rapper.
As Ayman Roshuzan says on the Facebook comment section, the Indonesians are rampant. That's one of the many challenges that picked up a yellow, though crucially, not a yellow card for Toiled, who's currently one booking away from a suspension.
Is it toiled or is it toilet?
Well, no,
I don't know, man. That name's weird.
Yusuf said it was toilet, but there's no T on it. It's toiled, as in he's a midfield workhorse. He toils hard, so he's toiled.
Fair enough, I get what that means, but, you know.
So we don't need to...
Why would Yusuf call him toilet?
Because I think that's idea of Yusuf's idea of humour.
Or maybe, yeah.
Base mentality. I'm not, actually, I wouldn't say a bad word about our tournament director. He's been absolutely sensational, Yusuf, and also he's given me a lift home tonight, so I don't upset
Is he?
Apparently, yeah.
Yusuf?
He doesn't know about that yet, though. Right, stay with us. Second game still to come at the Panad in the Philippines. We'll head to Manila very shortly. Can the Filipinos go out with a bang, or will Indonesia get the 3 points they need to go to the top of Group B and pile on the pressure to Singapore when they take on Myanmar on Friday? Only one way to find out, folks. Stay with us right here on One Play Sports.
The Summer FISU World University Games is coming to One Play Sports this June. A celebration of international university sports and culture, showcasing today's stars and tomorrow's leaders. Catch the highlights from the 2015 and 2017 edition from Monday to Friday only on One Play Sports. Coming up on One Play Classic this week. The Summer FISU World University Games is coming to One Play Sports this June. A celebration of international university sports and culture, showcasing today's stars and tomorrow's leaders. Catch the highlights from the 2015 and 2017 edition from Monday to Friday only on One Play Sports. Coming up on One Play Classic this week. Coming up on One Play Classic this week.
So, apologies, slight technical issues here, but thankfully they've been resolved just in time as we join the Panad in progress by seconds. A minute and a half on the virtual clock. Philippines in the white. Oh, we've got a disconnection. We've got a disconnection, and we will sit tight here and just explain to you, we had some technical difficulties here in the studio, but I don't think they're the same technical difficulties that have plagued the Indonesians on their connection tonight. So Nitin will have to go to another reset. That's the second of the night for Indonesia. They are allowed, of course, one more in their second game. It's 2 per match you're allowed.
Yep. No idea why they got disconnected there, but I'm guessing a few players dropped out, and they have the right to do it, so they've done it. They've decided to not play this game, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they get better connection in the next one. Our
production team working behind the scenes fantastically well to bring the action back to you. We'll be resuming our studio duties very quickly. I'm not sure what Vic's up to. If you get a chance, Vic, throw up the graphic for Friday's big game and indeed Thursday's. You can remind the people at home what's coming over the course of the next 48 hours live on the OnePlay Esports Spectrum. We're back tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Singapore time, GMT +8. Amigos against the Thai gang. Malaysia against Thailand there. Winners of that one play the winners of Brotherhood, VN and Buffalo Run. So it's conceivable that we could have an all Singapore semi-final and an all Thai semi-final, Nitin.
Who are they playing? Brotherhood, VN and
Buffalo
correct,
Run.
yeah. So that's highly likely in my opinion. These are two very well-known sides again in the region. I do fancy Thai gang slightly though. Look at their mascot. He's got tattoos, he's got a beard, he's so cool. I just love him. And
is that because you've got tattoos and you've got a beard as well?
I do have tattoos.
I want you to think my tattoos like that.
To be fair, I think my tattoos are better than his, but my beard is not.
I'm not sure about your tattoos, mate. You've got Darth Vader on your calf. I mean, that's not really,
fantastic, bro. You know how many people have come up to me and said, bro, that's such a sick tattoo?
3?
Yeah, actually you're right. That's around the number.
You got the Tottenham badge as well, right?
Yes, on my right arm.
I mean, his are actually cool. They're like, you know...
They're like tribal, bro. I mean, tribal tattoos are
what's a Tottenham tattoo if it's not a tribal tattoo then? You're criticising him for the nice bit of artwork, this imaginary chap who we're somehow ended up debating here live on the show, and you think you're cooler than him. He's a cool dude, man.
His beard and his hair is nicer than mine, but I do believe I aged the tattoo...
one thing we must say,
race.
the logos of these clubs in the OnePlay Pro Club Challenge have been fantastic. Catlino as well. Vic, what about the game on Friday? Because then, of course, has got relevance to the match we're hoping to conclude sometime tonight. Because Singapore and Myanmar, if Indonesia, as expected, beat the Philippines for a second time tonight, Singapore will still have work to do against the Myanmar team who've proved they can be a tough nut to crack, Knitted.
They are tricky opponents, but again, if Singapore show up like how they've done in the first games that we've watched, they should get 6 points, but we know that the Singapore team likes to change players and they have a full 11 for the second leg, something that you and I are not very, we don't really fancy. So hopefully the Singapore team can step it up and hopefully the best players play. That's all I want.
You defended them when they tried it against Indonesia.
I defended them because I believed that they would, perform better, and I thought, what's better than having 2 11s of players who can play?
But in hindsight, you can't take Shamir off the pitch. If nothing else, you want him to win the Golden Boot and get as sharp as he can.
Yeah, that's a bit unfair on Shamir, I have to feel. He's
still top of the charts.
Exactly.
But Wu Wao, Wu Yang Ping.
Wu Yang, Wu Wao, Wee.
Here we rejoin the action with Indonesia in the green on the early ascendancy with Mama Ting, who got the last goal in the first game. Can he help lay on the first goal in the second? Not this time. And thankfully, let's have a look at the bots. Well, the Philippines still got bots at the back. It looks to me like a full complement of Indonesians, which will help their cause as they bid to complete the night's work and get 6 points on the board. One thing's for sure, they're not going to get up to Singapore's goal difference. Can't see that happening.
Yeah, but I think they are lacking up top. Jeffrey has been fantastic in that first leg, but they don't quite have the talent that the Singaporeans, the Malaysians and the Thais do up front.
Down the right-hand side, they come again as he managed to keep that in. Somehow he did. Now Indonesia have got the throw. You're watching live OnePlay Sports Nation Cup Group B action on the OnePlay Sports Network this Wednesday night. We've got OnePlay Sports FIFA Pro Club for you coming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday as the bot saves the first ever on goal in the second game from Indonesia. And next week's schedule slightly different. We've got games and they're all semi-finals after that. Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have a preview show for you on Friday ahead of a grand final.
Oh, great play.
It could be Indonesia are in. Rizky Williams. with the first goal for the Indonesians, and they break the deadlock inside the 10-minute mark at the Panad knitting, and it was a lovely build-up.
Yeah, lovely build-up. I just said they were a bit toothless in attack, and Jeffrey, Mama and Williams combined perfectly there to prove me wrong once again on this show and make me look like a fool.
Williams, no one could make it look like a full knitted. Jeffrey, Philippines scrambling. Yes, just going back to what's happening next week. Semi-final action for you on Tuesday and Thursday in the One Play Pro Club Challenge. Semi-final action, our second semi-final in the One Play Nations Cup on Wednesday. The first one will take place on Sunday. And then we have a preview show for you that will be broadcast live on Friday night, 11 p.m. Singapore time, our usual slot, GMT +8 before. On Saturday and Sunday, on Saturday, the One Play Pro Club Challenge finals night, including the third and fourth place playoff, followed by the grand final. We're on air an hour earlier for that at 10 p.m. And then on Sunday the 14th, it'll be the same for the One Play Sports Nations Cup, third and fourth place playoff, plus the grand final. We're calling it Grand Finals Weekend, like the title. Fabian Frenzy.
Oh,
Williams, can he get another? Oh, our view was obscured.
Fantastic timing, black box.
The black box. Explain the black box to those unfamiliar with the FIFA setup.
It's basically something that the PlayStation doesn't allow you to share. So the manager must have pressed a button or something of that nature. Very, very strange.
Getting it back to Zihars. They'll have busier nights than this in the semi-final action to come. As it stands, Indonesia will be going top of the group tonight, but Singapore will have 2 games in hand, and they'll only be a point behind Myanmar. The equation's quite simple. On Friday, they've got to win both. Here's the claw. Frenzy. Oh, heavy touch, and Galactico can pick it up.
All Singapore need is just the one win, right, to finish top?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, great play. Oh, they got in each other's way. Too many players bombing forward there for the Indonesians.
And of course, the reason Singapore only need 1 win is because their goal difference, as it stands, is 7 better than Indonesia. That's even allowing for the fact Indonesia have got 4 goals so far tonight. Takes them to +5 goal difference. Singapore +12! Thought for a minute Indonesia going to get to +6. That took a deflection as well. It's out for a corner. Is it Frenzy going to take the corner? 25 minutes in here at the Panad. It is Philippines 0, Indonesia 1.
Come on, Philippines, I want you guys to score.
But they've scored in half their game so far. A goal in the 3-1 loss here to Singapore, and then a goal away at Myanmar in a 4-1 defeat. So they have got the ability in the area. Got to find Porteria. Here is Porteria. Thought he was going to go down for a penno. Still Porteria. Can OJ find support? No sign of his mum Jocelyn on Facebook tonight, which is a shame. Here's Cess. Good work from the claw. Claw, magnificent, gets it to Jeffrey, and he gets this trick out the locker, and it does the trick as well. There's Farshar to Toiled, not Toilet. Frenzy. Frenzy inside. This is lovely build-up play again. Mama Ting with a lovely flick to the claw. What a save by the ball. That would have been one of the goals of the tournament so far.
That was fantastic build-up, and if you remember, the claw actually won the ball back in defense there. Managed to run up the pitch, join the attack, get a shot off. Oh, fantastic stuff from the claw. He's really a box-to-box midfielder.
Oh, nice little backheader there. Can they finish it off? Narrow angle off the post from Williams, goal kick.
And the claw again, fantastic header. Williams just couldn't adjust his body in time to get the shot on target. But promising signs for Indonesia. They're ripping apart Philippines whenever they want.
Oh, here they come again. Williams, the second goal, surely only moments away. Can the Mama Ting get it? Great save, Bots. Well, the Bots keeping the Philippines in this game only just.
Yeah, Mama Ting's first touch there kind of narrowed the angle down for him.
Oh, lovely ball through again. Mama Ting, cake 2. And this time he makes no mistake. Mama Ting, a goal in each game. You ain't got a thing unless you sing like Mama Ting. He's got a second. It's 2-0 Indonesia.
Yep, Jess mentioned that he took a heavy first touch before that, but that was a perfect first touch. Managed to get a fantastic angle for his shot. Blasted it past the keeper. 2-0 to Indonesia, and I'm a rapper.
Albeit not a very good one. 10 minutes to half time. You're watching the Notorious on coverage here on One Play Sports. Ongoing festival of FIFA.
Yeah, man.
We've been with you now for 10 weeks, so we've still got a couple of weeks to go, and we are loving it. Here's Neymar Jr. Nice skills into the area. And Kaya Moses, the chap that sung the anthem brilliantly for Indonesia at the start of the night with the clearance.
Yeah, his bot actually scored in that first game, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round of fixtures. So
Shazwan Suhaimi says the game's over. Indonesia are on fire. Well, it might be over. The Philippines can still make it interesting if they get one back before half-time. Into the area, decent cross. Headed away by United. Coming again, the Philippines. Porteria with the turn. United's defending absolutely exceptional. And there's a chase on now for this loose ball. Going to have to be careful here, the Philippines. Galactico doesn't want to take too many liberties. He does well. Finds Neymar Jr. as we rapidly approach half-time. But at the moment, Indonesia are sailing to the top, albeit maybe only temporarily, of Group B. I say temporarily. Are we dismissing Myanmar a little bit too easily, expecting Singapore to cakewalk that, Nitin?
I think we are, I think we give them a little
Are we dissing
less
the
credit.
Myanmarese?
Not really. Just that on paper the Singaporeans are better, and but the Myanmaris can. Is that right? Myanmaris?
Yes.
Is it?
Our friend from Myanmar. Let's
Oh yeah, our friends from Myanmar can spring a surprise, and I hope the Singapore team is preparing for this game with that in mind.
Half-time at the Panad, Indonesia. Look to be there, 2-0 at half-time. We know they've already qualified for the semi-finals, but can they give Singapore something to aim at and take over top spot with a goal differential that can still be easily caught by Singapore? As it stands, they're going top. No shots for the Philippines in that first half. 9. I think we've had 11 in one half. That's the record, isn't it? But 9's not far off it.
Yeah, again, Philippines just not quite cohesive. They don't look like a team. It's just disappointing to see, and I think they'll be disappointed themselves. Having said that, they got another 45 minutes to play for some national pride, to get their country excited about something in these tough COVID times, and I hope they manage to pull off a spectacular second half, win it by 2 goals, and get a draw at least.
Back we go to Loftus Road, which seems to be the stadium of choice for many of our pro club teams. Goals from Williams after 10 minutes and Mamating after 35 have put Indonesia in the driving seat here. Indonesia in the green, left to right. Philippines in the white, right to left. The Philippines playing their final 45 virtual minutes of the One Place Sports Nations Cup. They've improved as they've gone along. There's been some very bright spots for them. Ultimately, not helped, I'm sure, by throttling of internet connections in the Philippines. They've been outclassed ultimately, Nitin, haven't they?
They have, and I think they have been outclassed in every game. It's a great learning experience for them, and I fully expect them to come back in the next Nations Cup much stronger.
And no different to the real football. I remember it was a decade ago that Singapore were routinely beating Philippines 4-5-0. They wouldn't be beating the Philippines 4-5-0 now. Here's Williams for his second of the game. Indonesia's third. Lovely work from Williams.
Oh, what a goal.
An absolute beauty. Risky Williams is on a hat-trick. 10th minute, 52nd minute, Indonesia lead by 3, and the goal difference is pumping now.
Yeah, wonderful drag back by Williams to create the space, but again, horrendous defending from the Philippines, and it's hard when you have bots in goal, not defending your goal. Williams, fantastic finish, 3-0 to Indonesia, and it's all but game over here.
The goal difference now is at +7. I think the vagaries of the mathematics mean that goal difference won't really come into it in terms of top spot, because Indonesia, of course, will be 3 points ahead of Singapore. I suppose it could if Singapore win one game and lose another against Myanmar. Goal difference could still come into it, so you understand them wanting to get more. Porteria!
Oh, come on!
What a save from Zihars! Well, he's made 2 sensational saves. The best 2 saves of the match have both come from the Indonesian keeper.
Yeah, it just shows you what can happen when you have a player in goal. So unlucky for the Filipinos.
Space for Zozo. Didn't really commit that.
I really wanted the Filipinos to score there. I want OJ Porteria to get a goal. Come on, OJ.
OJ Porteria, Cess. Oh, he's beaten one challenge, Cess. Tries to find Porteria. And Farshad does really well.
Great play.
Thanks to Ivan Moshizan, because Shazwan Suhaimi's asking when the next Singapore game is. It's on Friday against Myanmar. Join us for that, Shazwan. I'm sure Ivan will be joining us for Malaysia's semi-final, which I believe will be the first semi-final of the competition, which is scheduled for Sunday. But will they be playing Singapore or Indonesia? At the moment, you think Indonesia, but as it stands, they'll be playing Singapore. Singapore will go to second in the group tonight.
As it stands, but Singapore and Myanmar, of course, still have 2 games to play. And their destiny is in their own hands.
Yeah, Ayman's making a very good point there. I didn't get informed on this by Youssef. I think Ayman's picked up, Nitin. Zihars is a bot in this second game. The player manager for Indonesia is a bot.
Yeah, even Kia, Moses, Irwan also got disconnected. So,
so the Indonesians
they are dropping down like flies at the moment.
Yeah, I think when that save was made, many thanks to Ayman Rashizan for pointing that out. Our dear friend Ayman from KL. Debbie and Frenzy. with the throw. 3-0 in the first game. Do you think they're going to add to the scoreline in the second before full time?
I think so. I think the Filipinos will try and get a goal and that will leave them open.
Oh, Williams on a hat-trick, remember. Mama Ting trying something fancy. Is that a foul? No. Referee plays on. Fabian Frenzy gets it to Williams on the hat-trick. To Mama Ting! Great save from the bot keeper. Mama Ting now with 5 shots. Williams on the hat-trick. It will be...
Yeah, Mama Ting's a real busy striker. Reminds me of, do you remember Paul Dikoff?
Yes, plays for Manchester City.
Never gave the defenders a moment's breathing space. He's one of those strikers.
Kaya Moses, Fabian Frenzy. Do you know where Paul Dikoff started his footballing career?
Coventry, is it?
I believe it's a team that you're not very fond of.
Arsenal.
Yes, I think it was, if my memory serves.
No wonder I don't know.
Let me just Google Paul Dikoff. I'm pretty sure he started as a youngster at Arsenal. He certainly played some of his career at Arsenal. Paul Dikoff.
Good ball there. Mama Ting.
Mama
through.
Ting!
Mama Ting!
Mama Ting on 2. Williams on 2. Indonesia on 4. And Indonesia going to the top of the shopping Group B. And look at the celebrations from the purple-haired perfectionist into the area. Road 1 challenge, bot no chance. And there's still 15 minutes left for Williams or Mama Ting to get a hat-trick. And of course, don't forget, they're all of a sudden in contention for the Golden Boot as well.
Yeah, fantastic to see the Indonesians scoring for fun here in the second game, even in that first game as well. Mama Ting has been a huge disturbance for the Filipino defence, and he's fully deserved both his goals here.
Confirmation, Paul Dikoff started his career at Arsenal. Indonesia are starting
And
to
it's
run.
hat-trick!
Mama Ting with a hat-trick. 37, 74. And now, wrapped up in some style, the bot didn't move, and 2 goals in 2 minutes. Mama Hing's hat-trick in the bag. And Mama Ting now on 3 for the competition. And the Filipinos are folding like a pack of cards here.
I think he's got 4. I think he scored 1 in that first game as well, so that takes him up to 4.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I had their goals down.
Oh, Williams!
Keeper came and did well.
The Filipinos have, I think their crest has fallen.
I think that the other goal that they in those matches was a bot. Their goals so far was scored. The one goal against Myanmar was scored by Jefferin. Frenzy got one and a bot scored. It was Mama Ting as a bot.
No, in this first game against Indonesia,
Of course, and you're quite right. I do apologise, Nitin. Yeah,
No
you're
worries.
quite right. 4 goals. They could be on to 5 all of a sudden. 70 years on to Frenzy.
Wow.
And Frenzy gets another, and now it's 6. And the goal difference now is creeping up to be on a par with Singapore.
Yeah, but I just mentioned that the Filipinos have hung their heads. I think they're done with this match in particular. Sad to see them go out in such fashion, but you know, plenty of things. What are they doing here?
Oh, they're all over the place. Williams saved.
Come on, Sess, don't embarrass yourself, bro.
Just going to
What
ask
nonsense is that?
my dear friend Vic. Vic, is it possible at the end of the show we can update the Golden Boot standings? Don't worry if it's not, but if we can, we should check in with that. Here's Fabian Frenzy, our main man Vic, who is part of the top-class production team here at One Play Sports, working on the One Play.
Look at this guy. I don't know what he's trying to do. Take it seriously, man.
You're not happy in it, and
Nah, you're losing 6-0. Don't make yourself look like a clown.
Are they disrespecting the tournament for you here? Oh, lovely work from the bot, where the bots are at the moment. The Filipinos' best player, Boltaria, deflected into the bot Zihar. 6-0. Mama Ting joins Wu Yang Ping. I don't think, well, Wu Yang Ping and Shamir both with hat-tricks, right? So that's the 3rd hat-trick of the competition. Hits the claw for his 2nd of the night. Side netting. That was an optical illusion.
Yeah, I thought he scored. The ball looked like he rippled the back of the net there. Look at this guy. I don't know what he's trying to do.
Well,
Sess.
it's difficult for. I agree with you, Nitin, but I think the Filipinos. It must be frustrating for them every
Yeah,
night.
but it's all about
your country.
it's all about goal difference here for Singapore and Indonesia, and this guy is just I don't know what he's trying to do.
So 6-0 and
Yusuf,
3-0.
let's have a word with Sess after this match.
You know what? No, what are they doing here?
This is like Kelung, man.
Well, it's a bit much now,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a bit much now. Well, somehow they didn't manage to give away a 7th goal. They've won by 6, and that means Indonesia's goal difference goes to +10. Singapore on +12, but the 6 points Indonesia have won tonight will take them to the top. Mama Ting, the purple-haired perfectionist, with the match ball in slightly controversial circumstances. Nitin not impressed by some of that defending from the Philippines in the second half of that second game. And I tell you what, you might want to take a seat, because the highlights for this match are going to go on forever and ever.
I think they'll just show the goals though.
Well, even the goals will take a while. There were 6 of them.
This was Marmating finding Williams. Fantastic finish to make it 1-0 for Indonesia. No chance for the keeper there. This was the claw. I think this was the second goal. Yes, a powerful. Oh no, it was a save. Good save by the bot there. The claw unlucky to be denied. Williams here there just couldn't adjust his body in time. Could find the side netting, and Indonesia found the side netting a couple of times there. I think this was the goal. Marmating, fantastic run, great first touch, blasted into the near post. No chance for the keeper. Marmating was solid today. I thought he was absolutely on fire for his team.
I've just checked the details. He's up to 3rd in the Golden Boot race. Remember, $125 for the Golden Boot. Shamir on 6, Wu Yangping on 5, and now Marmating on 4. And of course, it's probably going to come down to. It might not come even down to the semi-final, because even if you lose the semi-final, you could argue it would be easier to score in the 3rd and 4th place playoff game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so strangely there might be a consolation. That's going to be an interesting. Great that we're having the 3rd and 4th and the final on the same night, because we can monitor the Golden Boot race across the 2-hour
Yeah,
broadcast.
nice to see every team that's potentially qualified already having a member in the goal scoring chart. So everyone has a chance there.
Yeah,
fantastic to see.
And $125 dollars up for grabs. And let's not forget Zihar's, because it goes down, I'm told, to clean sheets. You have to feel for Zihar, because being disconnected in that second game means he won't get the clean sheet credited. So the player manager, I'm sure he's more worried about the team, but the $125 that's going to be up for grabs. Zihar's done himself no favours there with the EA servers disconnecting him. What a finish that one was.
Yeah, that was his hat-trick as well. A fantastic finish from Marmating. He had a great game. And this was the claw again, I believe. Was it the claw?
It was the claw got the last one, right? Is that finishing? No, the claw was done to the side netting when we thought he scored. Yeah, it was the claw. So Marmating with 3, and Williams with a couple as well, and cruise control really for Indonesia in the end. So my main man Vic's been working overtime behind the scenes trying to keep up with all those late goals to update the table. 6 and 3 makes it 9+ tonight. They came in on +1, so I reckon that's +10, and Vic agrees with me. But you can see Singapore's equation now is quite simple. As long as they win one game and don't get hammered in the other, they will finish top of the group. They also, of course, need to avoid defeat twice. The goal difference they have against Myanmar of a +11 means surely they're not going to, they have to win both Myanmar. It's as simple as that now, don't they? Even 4 points won't be enough, because a point that Singapore would get in the draw of those 2 matches would take them to 11. Yep. So Singapore, basically, you'd think will qualify, and you fancy they'll get at least the 3 points they need to qualify as top dogs.
Yes, I do fancy Singapore will get the 3 points they need to qualify. Again, hopefully, fingers crossed, the manager doesn't choose to change a whole bunch of players for the second leg.
And remind you for that semi-final bracket, whoever finishes second in the end in Group B will end up playing Malaysia, who finished top in Group A. And the other flip side of the coin, of course, is Thailand, who finished runners-up in Group A, will await the winners of Group B. So the Singapore-Malaysia final is still very much on the cards.
Yeah, it is. You know, I'm still a bit heated up about how that Cess played towards the end of the game.
See, this is the trouble with this social distancing. I just want to give you, I want to embrace you into my bosom.
What's that, bro? Have some pride. You're representing your country.
I'd like to embrace you into my bosom and make you feel better. I know it's upset
thanks,
you.
Bro.
I know it's upset you. A bit like you would have done for me when I was angry about the EA servers earlier on. So I talk about potential Singapore-Malaysia finals. There's a potential Singapore-Malaysia final in the One Play Pro Club Challenge as well. That is next on the agenda for tomorrow night, as Malaysian side Amigos take on the Thai Gang, and the winners of that will play the winners of Buffalo Run against Brotherhood VN of Vietnam, Buffalo Run of Thailand. The other semi-final already set in stone, that's La Rojak against Tiki Taka, both teams from Singapore. And then 24 hours after that, we're back with the final matchup in Group B. Singapore against Myanmar. Singapore, realistically, if they get the job done in just one of those games, they will be finishing top and will take on Thailand in the semi and consign Indonesia to a date with Malaysia. So that just about does it from Nitin and myself. We look forward to you rejoining us in the Spectrum same time tomorrow night. Remember, we also publish our highlights package for you during the day on the One Play Sports Facebook page. And you must keep checking back on the One Play Sports Facebook page. Some great original content being produced in conjunction with our friends at Sports Singapore, designed to keep people active and happy and entertained during these difficult times. Great news all over Southeast Asia and indeed the world that the lockdown, circuit breaker, whatever you may call it, where you are living, is starting to be eased and we're getting back to something like normal. And it's good timing as well, because as you get back to normal, we get down to business. The final stages of both the One Play Pro Club Challenge and the One Play Sports Nations Cup coming at you now over the course of the next 10 days. And we look forward to your company tomorrow night. From Nitin and myself, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.